guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about how much of a forgetful dummy I am. And that is because it is NaNoWriMo month and I participated in NaNoWriMo, and somehow magically every single week I forgot to do a writing vlog for NaNoWriMo. So here we are with my writing vlog for 2 days before NaNoWriMo ends for the month of November, and I'm very upset with myself, but it's fine. So, if you guys don't know, I have been writing a book since December of last year, so 2017. So it's almost been an entire year since I've been writing this book, at least. And I have finished my first draft in August, took a break, started editing in September, finished it just in time for November. Haha. And now, as of right now, I have been doing NaNoWriMo, and I am caught up with the word count for yesterday, surprisingly enough, because yesterday was Thanksgiving, so you think I'd be behind, but I'm not. So I have to finish writing it up tomorrow, but I am on track to finish 50,000 words as for November 30th, actually. But since I didn't do a writing vlog every week, so you guys didn't see my struggles, my pains, my tears, I thought I would go ahead and do a what I learned for NaNoWriMo 2018. And maybe I'll do this yearly, who knows, we'll see. But essentially, I've been writing my second draft for this book, and if you guys don't know, I was very nervous for NaNoWriMo because I write everything based off a chapter, so I'll do a chapter a week, and I find that that's the best way for me to get to my words, to get through my novel in taking it up in chunks, if that makes sense. I like breaking down my tasks into easier to handle tasks. I can't do big picture things, so I like breaking them down to chapters. So when I was writing my first novel, I edited each chapter, or I wrote a chapter a week, and that was kind of the best way that I finished for 7-ish months. And then when I was editing, I would also try to do at least a chapter a day, maybe even more depending on my mood, but that was kind of how I did it. That helped me get through 36-ish chapters in the span of 2 months. Now for NaNoWriMo, you have to write at least, I think, 1,666 words a day, which isn't bad. However, something that I have noticed is that I can't do that. I sometimes will, word counts to me are very daunting. I didn't realize how restricting word counts can be. At first I was getting the hang of it. I had, if you look at my progress, I haven't updated my progress in a minute, but I made a little chart in my bullet journal because that is how super organized I am. But as you guys can kind of tell, I got really kind of ahead in my word count a little bit, but I tried to be on top of my word count because I figured that by the end of the month that I would slow down a lot, considering there were holidays and family time and you get lazy. And I realized now, about a week away from finishing, that I can't do word count. I think that they are very restrictive and they're very frightening, not gonna lie. I've seen so many writers and booktubers who do word counts who are always I missed my word count for the day, and now you're internally panicking, and I realize how much I do that. So it doesn't work for me, and I think I'm more of the Victoria Schwab's who does how long she wrote. She said if she wrote for an hour, that'd be great, because then an hour can mean you wrote a bunch or you wrote an all, a little bit, but either way you wrote for an hour kind of situation. And I like that a bit more, because if I set a goal for writing a chapter a week, then I can go ahead and be okay, well, if this is going to be a super long chapter, I'll try to write 2 hours every week, every day. And typically that will help me out, and then I can do other things. However, with word count, I find that even if I sit down and do absolutely nothing the entire day but write, I will be focused on solely the word count. I think I spent a good 5 or 6 hours one time literally just staring at my word count because I was so freaked out about catching up on my word count because I was so behind, and that I didn't actually end up focusing on my writing. Literally an hour or two just staring at it, which it wasn't very productive for me, because in that hour or two, if say I had hit a word, a block or something, I could have gone and watched a movie that I wanted to watch. I could have cleaned my room a bit more. I could have played a video game. I have so many video games to finish, and that was kind of the plan for November, alongside writing this novel, the second draft, and it didn't work. So I think moving forward with participating in NaNoWriMo next year, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because, like I said, I think word counts are very restrictive. Like, I sat there, like, if I was behind by a day by a little bit, I'd be like, oh my god, I have to write 2,000 words. And I panicked over writing 2,000 words, and like trying to figure out, like, oh, will this, like, editing this entire chapter get me to 2,000 words? And most of the time it didn't, and I was just so stressed out. And, like, don't get me wrong, I think my second draft is still gonna be solid-ish for a second draft. Because I, like, sometimes when I did do the word counts or just stop focusing on the word counts, I got a chance to, like, look at the actual writing a lot and, like, edit out the scenes I want to take out and how I want to add this in there. But like I said, word counts are very restrictive, and I think in the future I probably won't do word count for NaNoWriMo. Like, don't get me wrong, I think 50,000 words is doable for a month. I definitely have done it, considering I did about a chapter a week, sometimes 2 chapters a week, and that rounds out, you don't want to do math. But yeah, I think I'll be fine for next NaNoWriMo. But as of right now, I don't think I'm gonna follow that path until NaNoWriMo next year, because it was very stressful, and I feel like I spent a lot more of my time just staring off into space and staring at the word count than it did actually. Like, I don't even know why I was staring off into space. Like, there are very few scenes in the book, or like my story, where I have to literally go ahead and, like, redo all of them. Like, I think I was going through, because I, like, essentially, like, cut out, like, an entire scene, like 2 to 3 pages worth of a scene, and, like, replaced it with something else and moved things around. And so I definitely caught back up with there, but I was just so focused on that I didn't realize that, like, I had to do that, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm rambling. But it was just not the most productive way for me to do things, because, like, it's my second draft. Literally, half of my work is already on paper and has squiggly lines and fancy colored pens telling me what to do, and somehow I still freaked out because I was behind on a word count. Or, like, if I had to write really late, I'd be like, oh my god, it's midnight, I'm not gonna reach my word count. When back in the day, if I was behind and it was like midnight, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm like a couple steps away from doing, like, this entire chapter, I'll be fine. So I think next year I'm going to have to, like, have a plan of attack next time for NaNoWriMo, because going into it blindly and thinking that I can do 50k and not panic was kind of a bad idea on my part, but it's fine. We'll all learn from our mistakes. But from my novel, I realized that, one, I use the word just a lot. Like, I don't know how that came into my vocabulary, but it did. I also learned that my characters, I love them so much, but there are certain things, at least in the beginning, that need tweaking, and I think the beginning is going to be the problem point for me, going on to further edits. Not because it's not strong or anything, but I'm always concerned about what to give away. Like, I don't think I have my, I definitely introduced a major, like, plot point in the first one, but it's not the, like, what do you call it, the rising action, the starting action, I don't know. You think I've been writing for years. I've taken, like, 2-3 years worth of creative writing classes over my time at university, but somehow magically, I don't know that little like, thing. The starting action? We'll call it that, the starting action. I don't think that happens yet. I think that happens, I know where it happens, so it doesn't start there yet. It starts, like, towards chapter 8-ish, chapter 7-ish. Yeah, so I have plenty of time, but I'm always concerned that a lot of my writing, like, I've been giving away too much about the characters that can be sprinkled on throughout, but then if I don't explain it, it'll come in too late, or I feel like I am not giving out too much about the world itself, but if I don't, then it comes in too late. And I think at that point, I just need to have friends and family sit down and read the book and tell me, like, because, like, my friends have read the first draft, they have. But they read it as, like, a chapter by chapter basis. Anytime I, like, posted a new chapter on this website that we had. So they kind of read it like that, but they never gave me ideas of, like, if there's too much, like, world building or anything. They just kind of gave me ideas for, like, future edits for the second draft. So I think once I'm done with the 50k, I'm going to email it out to my friends and have them tell me whether or not this bit, or, like, what parts can be moved down more, or what parts should be up, or what parts need to be added. because I'm definitely going to be taking a 2-week break from this novel for a bit. I have a different idea for a novel that I got while I was reading Three Dark Crowns. No, I did not plagiarize. But it was just an idea that I was going to do a fan fiction of something, and then my mind started tweaking it into an actual book or an actual story. So I think I might spend like 2 weeks working on like profiles and like blend for like the story for the second draft, like blending out more character profiles like I do, as I always do, because I'm just that anal. Working on like the culture and everything, and then also like starting to plot out this story and figuring out the plot line, and then get back into second draft stuff. Hopefully they'll be done with 50K, but I don't think so. But we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I definitely just need someone to sit down and like read it. I don't know if I want them to read the entire thing first. I think that I'll have my family do that, but I definitely do want like my sister and like my 2 best friends. We'll start off with them at first. Just read that 50K words and then tell me like, because my sister's never read it. My two friends have. They read it from start to finish, but like chapter by chapter, so they didn't really like look out for anything. So I think I'm gonna have them look at those first 50K. So that way 2 of them can serve as like an editorial eye and like rip it apart and tell me what needs to be moved for the third draft. And then my sister can read it with fresh eyes and tell me like what parts confused her, what parts work, and what parts she thinks could be like moved over, they're just like axed out, or what needs to be more developed. So I'm hoping that the third draft should be pretty solid by the end of things. Like, I know that like great authors have like at least like 10 different drafts of their novels, so that's gonna take a while. But like, I mean, second draft I want to be done with, and then start making my query letter and start looking at agents. And then as I'm working on my third draft, start looking for agents and being like, hey, here's what I have, here's the entire thing. Because I feel like by the third draft, or at least by the end of the second draft, I will have a better idea of the plot. Because like, if you guys don't know, query letters require the plot, the entire plot. You can't give them a synopsis. It has to go from like start to finish plus plot twists. So I have to do a lot of research on that, and I think that in the middle of like researching for agents and like starting this query letter drafts, I can work on the third draft, and hopefully by the time that I start actually sending out those said letters, the third draft should be almost complete. Because like, let's face it, I seem to have an issue with doing things like chop. But that is it for this writing vlog and the things that I have learned from NaNoWriMo and things I need to better prepare myself for the next NaNoWriMo. But I'm really sorry I didn't have those weekly vlogs like I promised. I'm just dumb and forgetful. But next year should be. And I'm sure that like somewhere down the line when I have more free time, I will do like a NaNoWriMo or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of it. If you like these videos, I do upload once a month for writing vlogs. If you guys want me to do like something else different like with my writing vlogs, like if you have a question you want me answered about like my writing process, or how I managed to write a book in like the span of 7 months when I couldn't write it before, how do I plot things, where do I keep ideas and all that stuff, leave that down below. And next month I'll go ahead and do a entire like video focus on like a couple of questions, then move on from there. But if you like to see more of me, subscribe. I upload every Saturday and Wednesday. Like if you like these videos, and then all my social media links will be down below if you guys want to chat with me a little more about books or writing, or however you want to spin life or whatever. But until Saturday, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. Bye!